Hi everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Kosi and in today's tutorial we're going to be learning how to draft and cut this beautiful Vicky James dress. Okay, so if you sound like something interested to learn, keep on watching and let's get started.
Two souls colliding. We shared the pieces of ourselves. It's perfect timing now.
So guys, for the drafting, I will first draw a straight line across it to serve as my starting line like I always do. Okay, so from the starting line, I'll come down by the bust line and again I'll mark the half length plus 1 inch for the allowance. Okay, so I'm also going to extend all those lines, all those points. I'll extend them this way, then I'll label as the bust point, I'll label as the waistline, I'll divide the shoulder by 2 plus half an inch stitching allowance, come down by your armhole depth. I marked 8 inch and I'm going to also mark half of the shoulder measurement here. This rail is not mine actually, so I'm going to make a straight line, then also connect them this way. Okay, so after drawing a straight line here, I also label as the chest line and the shoulder line. Okay, once I'm through with all of this, I'm going to come down by half an inch here for the shoulder slope. Then I'll divide what I had left. I'll mark the midpoint, come inside by half an inch on this area, and also mark quarter of the bust measurement. Okay, so I'm also going to mark 3 inch for the neck width on the side. So I'm going to connect the shoulder slope to the neck width. Okay, and I'll use my curve rule to connect the 3 dots I have on the armhole side. So guys, once I'm through with that, the next thing I want to do is to mark quarter of her bust measurement on the chest line, add 2 inch for the allowance on the waistline, mark quarter of her waist measurement, add 2 inch for the allowance. Okay, so there is no dart on this dress. I'll go ahead and connect those 2 points I have here. You connect like this. Once you're through with that, on the shoulder side, you come down by 3.5 inch for the neck depth, then go ahead and connect it. Okay, just make your round neckline using this curve. So once you're through with that, go ahead and cut it out. So after cutting, I'll also label as the front. Okay, so I'm also going to use the same piece to cut the back pattern. Okay, so first I'll label as the front. Okay, now after I was done with this, I'll place another piece of paper here to cut the back piece. So you can see I have just small space here for the zip allowance, but I'm going to be adding extra inch when transferring to the actual fabric. So I'm going to use my marker and ruler to trace all those side and lines I have here. So you trace the zip allowance side, trace the down side, trace the shoulder side, also trace the armhole side. Okay, so once I'm through with this, I'm going to remove the front piece. I'll remove it and I'll keep it aside, and I'll label the zip allowance. After that, I'll mark 3 inch for the neck width. Then I'll also come down by 2 inch for the neck depth. Okay, just like this. You can also mark 1.5 inch if you want. So this is a high neckline. So I'll just connect the point. Okay, so after I was done with that, I will just cut it out. Okay, so after cutting, I will place my ruler. Sorry, I'll place my tape. I'm going to come down by her bust line. So I'll just mark 11 inch for that. Then I'll use my ruler to connect it. Okay. After that, I'll go ahead and connect the chest line and also label. Okay. I'll label as the chest line, label as the bust point, or you call it the bust line, label as the waistline, and also label as the back. Okay. So after I was done with all of this, I'll keep the back piece aside and I'll work on the front piece. So to achieve the cowl neckline in front, you have to slash the chest line, okay, and leave about quarter of an inch. Don't slash everything. So this will form the cowl neckline in front, okay. So once I'm through with that, I'm going to keep the front piece aside and I'll work completely on the back piece. So from the neckline, come down by 1.5 inch. You can also decide to come down by 2 inch if you want. So for the wideness, on that same point where you marked your 1.5 inch, also mark 2.5 inch there. You can also mark 2 inch if you want. So to determine the length you want for the back opening, you have to place your tape. You can mark 7 inch, you can mark 8 inch. So for me, I want to make use of the bust line. Okay, I'll make use of the bust line, this line here. All right. So I'll also mark 4.5 inch on that same line. All right. You can decide to mark 5 inch, 6 inch. This depends on how wide you want it to be. So from that same point, I'm going to come up by 1 inch. Then I'll connect it like so. I'll use my curve rule to connect from there to this other side here, just like this. Once I'm through with that, I'm going to mark, I'll just come inside here by half an inch. Okay, can you see what I did? Then also come up by half inch, then connect the two dots this way. Okay, go ahead and connect. You just curve it this way. So this is just a curve I just added. Okay, if you want to add a curve, it's fine. If you don't want, you can just leave it like that. Also extend the neckline side and the bust lines, extend it to the zip allowance. So on this waistline, I came up by 1 inch, and you can see that I slanted it into the other side. So this is to avoid any form of zip bulge. Okay, so I always do this on the channel. So I'm going to also cut this out. You can see what I did here. You just cut it out this way. So guys, after cutting, this is what I have. Can you see? So I'm done cutting, and this is what I have. Can you see? This is the front piece and this is the back piece. So I'm going to remove this. Like, I will keep it aside and I'll work on the down part. So subtract your half length. The half length is 16 inch. I subtracted it, and what I have here on this paper is 44 inches, but the actual length I want to work with is 48 inch. You can decide to go as long as marking 60 inch or 55, 56 inch. This depends on how you want, on how long you want your dress to be. So on the waistline, I'll mark the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inch. Okay, then I'll also come down by 8 inch. This is for the hip line. On the same hip line, I will mark quarter of the hip measurement and 2 inch for the allowance. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and connect it from there to the waistline. Okay, just like this. Once I'm through with that, I'll also place my ruler, sorry, I'll also place my tape to measure what I have on the hip line in total, and it was 12 inches. I am going to remove 1 inch, then I'll mark 11 inch. Okay, so once I'm through with that, I'll use my ruler to connect it just this way. Okay, go ahead and connect. So after I was done connecting, the next thing I want to do now, I noticed here was somehow sharpened, so I'll just blend it. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is to cut it out. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out just like this. So after cutting, I'll label as the front and back skirts. Okay, I'll just label as skirts. This is the down part. Okay, so once I'm through with that, this is what I have here. So I folded in 1 inch for the zip allowance. So I'm going to just use my marker and ruler to make this line very visible, and the label is as zip allowance, so don't get confused. So if I'm to transfer it to the actual fabric, I will fold the 1 inch zip allowance. I'll just fold it inside, then I'll cut the front piece. After that, I will open it up, then I'll cut the back piece. So these are the piece I have here. I have the skirt piece, that is the down part, I have the front piece, and I have the back piece. Okay, so guys, we are going to stop here because this video is already getting much long, and in my next tutorial I'm going to be sharing with you guys on how to transfer all this piece to your actual fabric, and on how to sew and join everything. Okay, so if this sounds like something you want to learn, if you want to follow me on the sewing part, please don't forget to hit on subscribe button so you get notified once I upload the second video. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Please share and let me know what you think in the comment section.